Let's walk. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, for those that maybe joined us last time, we had some issues with the audio, so we're running it back for round two here. So huge shout out to Mogs for willing to do this again, and really excited again to have you on for another collector edition of our walk and talk. Mogs, how you doing today?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, super excited to talk with you here and walk through some of my favorite pieces in my collection. And, I'm sure we'll be out having a fun discussion today. So excited to get into it.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, just entering back into this gallery, it's pretty much going into a time machine over the last few years. So I'm very excited over this next hour just to reminisce and learn a little bit more about kind of why you love some of these pieces in your collection. And I guess let's start with your PFP, fellow gray small skull with the awesome green eyes. Tell us about it. What kind of drew you to this one? And for those that don't know this collection, maybe go into a little more detail about what the small skull collection is.
Yeah. I was early to get on FX Hash, and this is early FX Hash collection. I think number 14 or so on in the history of FX Hash. So pretty early on, and I was lucky enough to mint a bunch of small skulls, but this one was actually one I purchased on secondary early on. It's number 64. One, just like the gray small skulls with green eyes. Like it's got a good, like, I don't know, expression or whatever. It just kind of spoke to me. But also number 64 kind of is, it's like a special number in the early history of FX Hash. There's like a whole story behind it for another day, I guess. But, just holds a special place in my heart. And yeah, I think it's super cool.
Love it. I mean, I always enjoy seeing fellow gray small skulls, or any small skull for that matter, around. And I know you've had that PFP for a long time, and I'm not planning on switching mine anytime soon. So hopefully we'll be small skulls until the end.
Yep, sure thing, man. Yeah, I think another piece in here was like my previous profile picture, but
Which
it's been
one? I'm trying to
the
remember.
it was the Peppa Lisa, but I've had this
Okay.
multiple up since like
I don't
you
even
know
remember you having that one.
I
It was
know I know
probably a
this has
while
been up there
ago.
for forever. It's been up there for forever. Um,
Amazing. Well,
but
let's
yeah,
get into it. We'll just start in the corner here and then make our way kind of horseshoeing around the gallery. So the first one here is MMZ 192C by Quibibi, one of our favorite artists. And this one I really, really enjoyed. There's not many of them that kind of have this kind of horizontal aspect ratio, but this one kind of reminds me of like a worm tree. And tell us a little bit more about this piece and why you wanted to make sure that we included this here.
yeah. I mean, just awesome piece. I think it's super awesome, like cool colors and just the it's classic Habibi really. And I have a bunch of pieces by this artist. He's a incredibly talented artist, and it's used a number of different styles, I guess. But this is definitely like a classic Kabibi style for sure. But also as you noted, just like a unique piece. I don't think he's got many out there that's like the landscape ratio. But I just really like this piece. It's one of many pieces I have by the artist, but definitely a really cool piece, um, and wanted to include it here.
Yeah, I mean it's phenomenal, and I know just from being at Miami Art Basel together, we were working at the Tender Untitled Gallery, which was such a cool experience. And the Quibibi pieces on the ends, like how many times would people come up to us asking us about those pieces, being like, "Hey, are these woven?" It's like, no, this is literally a print, but that's how incredible the detail and incredible this algorithm is. So just whenever I see an Equibibi piece now, I always go back to that just IRL people being so perplexed about what they're seeing. It was pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, let's move right to the right here, and this one kind of fits nicely in with the previous Quibibi piece, and this one is Hedgerow Still Life number 28 by Sophia Crespo, an AI artist who is absolutely phenomenal and usually takes a kind of botanist viewpoint on a lot of her works, but would love to learn a little bit more about this one. And pretty sure this was part of the Ferrophile art guide, or the field guide that Art Gnome curated. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I collected that. I was lucky enough to collect the field guide drop on Feral File by Artnum, and it was really and a number of really great pieces. But this particular piece by Sophia just really speaks to me. I think it's amazing the way that Sophia creates these like natural and like biologic like looking pieces. It looks so natural from afar or from like a first glance, but it's like eerily like AI, different techniques that she's using to produce this output. But um, yeah, I just think it's a really beautiful piece, and happy to have it in my collection. And definitely, I have a number of pieces by this artist, but just you know really enjoy this piece a lot, and happy to show it in this format. I think it's looks great blown up on a wall. So yeah, happy to show it off a little bit.
Love it. Yeah, I remember when this field guide came out. This was, I feel like it was maybe early 2022. I feel like Midjourney, at least when I first heard about it, was kind of around the same time. And this is when AI art for me started to make more sense. And especially within this curation, knowing that Art Gnome was the one putting this in, it's like, okay, this is something I need to be paying attention to. If Art Gnome says that, it's really cool. And then going back through the Art Gnome the Art Gnome Library or Art Gnome University, as I call it. I mean, he's been talking about AI art for quite some time. So just a lot of learning to be done, and I use kind of this field guide as kind of my bookmark to remember when AI art kind of clicked in my brain, and this is always a piece that I go back to. So cool.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought that up. I wonder, like, I'm not sure when like the first ARA art piece I collected was, or who it was, or whatever it may be. But that's actually pretty interesting because, um, at the time, AI wasn't as prevalent without Dolly and or maybe it was out at this time. I don't know the exact timing of it, but I know Sophia uses some proprietary like techniques and training her own model to produce this work. So I don't want to butcher the techniques, but I know that there's like a lot of depth behind the technical aspects of this work and Sophia's work in general, which I definitely respect as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think after this, it's also like there's something crazy going on here. Like, let me explore a little bit more. And then you just kind of deep dive down the AI rabbit hole. And I feel like from then on, I mean, AI has been a huge part of the digital art space. And I mean, will only continue. And I know we've got a few other AI pieces within this gallery. We'll definitely continue that conversation, but we wanted to move to the right and keep this nature theme going. Moving back to the generative side, the code-based work, we've got Garden Monolith number 81 by the legendary Zancan. I mean, this is iconic FX hash collection, and I mean, just looks absolutely incredible up there. Love the colors, love the little red highlights in there. So tell us a little bit more about the GM that you have.
Yeah, Sandcan, obviously iconic artist that's released a lot of incredible nature and like garden and just like I guess nature inspired works, all generative works. This is definitely a prized possession in my collection. A beautiful piece of work. I love the color and the green, the red. It just definitely a lot of depth to this specific output, but also just a good story behind it too. Trading for this piece on the day of the mint, I actually didn't have enough Tezos at the time to mint this, so I was lucky enough to trade with a good friend of mine some of the um, hashed cities by Yazid. Trade, generous enough to trade for this piece, and it was actually before the reveal. This was the time when it was like waiting to be signed on the token, and so um, I traded for this token blind, which is kind of funny. But regardless, it's funny how it was the hash cities that I traded for this too, because they ended up doing that Garden Monoliths collaboration project. So it was somewhat fitting that that's what I traded to get this piece with a good friend, Balls Life or Jiggy. Um, So yeah, just a beautiful piece, and super happy to have it in my collection.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think the Yazid Zancan crossover, it's pretty funny that that was the trade that you did. And just what a world FX Hash was when you wouldn't even know what you minted and people were trading things left and right. Just things were going absolutely crazy. Or even in the beginning when you would mint something and you wouldn't know what you got until like 2 days later. It was like back in the 90s when you'd take a picture, like send it into Walgreens to be developed, and you'd get it 4 to 5 days later. It's just hysterical to think back on, and I mean, it's kind of fond memories. And I mean, the Waiting to Be Signed podcast wouldn't have its namesake if not for that. So it's definitely a silver lining, and definitely fun to reminisce about those crazy days back in 2021.
Definitely, definitely, good times.
Let's stick on the FX hash train here, and we'll go to the one to the right by Percenter, The Ride of the Beholder. So this is a pretty interesting piece. I know there's quite a story behind it, so why don't you share
Yeah,
with everybody your
sure thing.
legendary FX hash collection
I
for the
don't
record
know,
books?
I don't know. Legendary is the best way to describe it, but I like to consider myself like an FX hash historian, so to speak, or I don't know, archaeologist or whatever you want to call it. But I'm one of two people to have the first 100 projects. Like I have two tokens from the first 100 projects on FX hash, and really it's just me being insane. There's really no reason for it other than I just love, like, it just brings back so many positive memories, and like love the platform, and just kind of fun. I'm a collector at heart, and it's just kind of fun to have those first 100 tokens. This is the one of the first 100 projects here by Percenter. This is actually the most restrictive project in the first 100 projects by like edition size. I think there's only 18 of them, or maybe 16, I forget. But regardless, this is actually really hard to get your hands on. Like, you can't like go, if you were to try to get a Ride of the Beholder right now, it would be very challenging. Just one, the number of editions and the people that are holding it, it's um, a huge, huge challenge for anyone to get the first 100 tokens or first 100 projects. Not that you should, but anyway, it's just kind of a fun thing that I've been able to do with my collection, is get two tokens from the first 100 projects, and this particular project's particularly challenging to get your hands on. So kind of fun.
Incredible. And you also won a one of one plot by the
Oh yeah,
legendary Nook with the meme of you walking into the party telling everybody that you have two of the first 100 FX hash collections. So I think that's probably your prized possession. I'm surprised that wasn't in this
I'm sure.
gallery today.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry I didn't mention it, but I do have that prized possession
Next
here at
time,
home.
next time,
So
next
yeah,
time.
for sure.
Incredible. Well, let's move on. I know we've got a couple other Tezos legends that I want to make sure that we hit on here. First one, The Impossible Sneaker number 10 by Sky Goodman. Legendary artist, legendary series. Tell us why you wanted to include this, and just, again, having the digital native on Cyber Gallery here and being able to see it how it's supposed to be displayed, like, it's just incredible to see that the color, the form, it's really really cool. So yeah, tell us why you want to include this one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it just looks great on the wall here. It's super cool glitch, GIF loop piece here, classic Sky Goodman classic series, as you mentioned. There's so many pieces. Like, when you said, "Hey, pick 15 pieces to put in a gallery," I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, I got so many other pieces that I want to include. There's so many talented artists and so many amazing pieces. But I thought this one would look amazing on the wall here. It's just, I have a number of pieces by Sky. I think Sky, obviously very talented. Doesn't One, the backstory behind Sky getting into glitch art is pretty cool. Something to do with watching, like, I think it was a World Cup game, and the TV glitched, and Sky, was just interested in the visual appeal of seeing this glitched out television, and learned how to do glitch art, as like using that as the inspiration. And so I don't know, just
Are you
super.
serious? That's
Yeah,
incredible. I had no
yeah,
idea.
and inspired by like streetwear, and does a lot, does a lot of streetwear inspired pieces, and a lot of collaborations with very talented artists. So definitely an artist I respect a lot in the space, and I think this is a super cool piece to show live on this wall here.
Love it. I did not know about that story, so that is very interesting and appreciate the added insight there. Yeah, I'll have to get Sky on one of these days. I think just having a full gallery of their work would just be incredible.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, let's move on to the right here. The last one on this wall, classic Pixel Fool, Rain Crusher. I know this is early hen days. I don't know exactly the dates, but I remember I was not early enough for this one. So it's pretty incredible that you've got it in your collection here.
Yeah, I actually was kind of late to the hen game myself as well. I mean, I got into Tezos, I think November of 2021, I believe, was the time frame, just at the beginning of FX Hash. But Pixelpool, obviously, an incredible artist, doing some great works, notable in that early hen scene. And this was the Genesis piece. Super happy to have that in my collection. Super cool piece, especially just to see it live with the animation here. I initially just drawn by the colors, and it's like somewhat hypnotic, but then also learning about the generative techniques behind it. Really cool to learn about that, and just wanted to highlight this piece because definitely a notable piece of my collection, and one I'm definitely happy to look at all day, every day for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. I just love how simple it is. But if you look into it, like the complexities of like the wave that it makes, and you just kind of see like the smoothness as the lines kind of shift, and it's quite hypnotic. So yeah, again, in digital form on a wall like this, and I can only imagine like IRL on a huge screen what something like this would look like. So yeah, glad you included this, and such a legendary Tezos artist and doing really great stuff across the generative scene.
For sure. Yep. Happy to highlight them.
Love it. Well, let's get on to the beefdenza. Let's have this conversation. I think this is the most absurd slash best piece in your collection. And I know it seems like everybody knows who Die with the Most Likes is now, but back when you collected this, I feel like still kind of that underground artist. I mean, he's still doing the same stuff, that's for sure. But would love to learn how this abomination of meat got in your collection.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely. I try to reflect on like what's my favorite piece, and I think it definitely comes back to this piece. Just one, love Die with the Most Legs, hilarious, like hilarious person, like also just really an inspirational person as well. Author, works full time on top of the art work, like all the art that Mark produces, and just love Mark as a person and as an artist, but also this piece is just hilarious. Like, uh, came out when there was some rumblings or some legal action around the Fidenza name with Tyler Hobbs, and this piece was like a reaction to that. Specifically, I reached out to Di on Twitter, and he hadn't minted this yet. I was lucky enough to be able to like commission this piece and get it as a 101, and something I'm really proud to own. I have a number of Die with the Most Likes pieces, but this one goes back to definitely being my favorite. I actually was able to customize my like bank card, my like debit card, and this is like my debit card background, which is kind of hilarious. So
Has anybody
definitely.
ever stopped you and been like, what the hell is on your credit card?
No, it just kind of blends in well. It's like it's a good look, actually. It's a good look for the card, It's just a beautiful card. Um, but
I'm
yeah.
waiting for the day where somebody asks, "Oh, what's on your credit card?" "Oh, it's a beef denza." It's like, "Oh yeah, of course, of course. How could I have forgotten?"
Yeah, when he takes over the world, then we'll
And
get there.
he's on his way.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Like, was this a part of like a GM post, or was it just like a comment under like something going on? Because I do remember when there were a lot of just like Fidenza
Yeah, I think
derivatives happening.
I think he
Like,
just tweeted it. Like I think he just tweeted it out, and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is
you
amazing!" And
need
I
to
just
find that tweet just to
yeah.
for safekeepings.
For sure. You're right, actually. I got to go back and
It's like,
like
did he have
bookmark it.
like any like text with it? So I could imagine either he just posted it blank like this, or he had something very funny to
You
go along
know,
with it.
like
So I
it's a
think you
good
need to figure that out.
yeah, it's a good question. I don't know, I don't know, but like I got to go back and like relive that conversation too, like deep in my Twitter DMs, like,
It's
all the way
incredible.
back in the beginning, but
This is
um
what, probably like early 2022?
yeah, something like that. I don't know exactly when,
Yeah.
but yeah, something around there. But no, it's I see it like I'll see it pop up on my Twitter feed sometimes because they're like displaying it at like wherever, like some show, some like event somewhere in LA or wherever. I'll just see it pop up on my Twitter feed. It actually makes me smile to see like this being displayed at different events. Like I'm very proud to own this piece. So yeah,
Love it.
glad
Yeah,
to show
I
it off
have
here.
not seen it in the wild yet, but I definitely have seen some tweets of people at IRL events
Yep.
to tag you in that. That's for sure. So
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. Let's go on to the feature wall here with
Oh,
Miami Nice by Sabato. And this piece, I did not know about this piece until you told me to add it to the collection. And it is incredible. I am a huge, huge fan of this one, especially with kind of the gray tones with the animation, just classic Sabato. So tell us a little bit more about this one.
yeah, one just cool piece, like funny piece. Like I like the kind of like comedic. I don't want to say comedic because it's just like fun. It's like fun. I don't, I don't want to. I think it's a really fun piece, like a crocodile drinking a margarita at a pool, like in this old school '80s like glitch, like GIF vibe thing. But yeah, classic Sabato. I love Sabato's work. Does like actually some different styles and some different techniques, but this is definitely representative of like some Sabato work and brings back a lot of positive memories because I was at Art Basel in Miami with you, with Sabato, with Lonely, with a few Oxeye and Numinal, and we all got to drink some margaritas. I don't know if it was margaritas, but basically mixed drinks in Miami on Art Basel, and just hanging out and just that's such a like intertwined memory with my trip to Miami. This piece is representative of that. This piece he minted just after, and I was actually gifted this piece. I think I bought another copy or edition of it, or I don't know, but regardless, just love the artist, love the piece. Brings back a lot of positive memories, so definitely holds a special place in my heart.
Love it. Yeah, no, those were great times. They definitely were margaritas. So I think this piece is very reminiscent of that. And I feel like we were all the crocodile that day, having a great
Yeah.
time.
Yes. 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 Very much this crocodile here. It was fun.
Amazing. I feel like just like the theme of the last few pieces are just like hysterical pieces of artwork. So let's continue that theme with this
Nice.
Lorna Mills piece with Folly Go Rightly. And it's just an incredible gif of a baby riding what, a dog? Just like a big dog it looks like.
Oh
This is
yeah. Yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, classic Lorna, like just I don't want to say like shock value, but like all of the pieces that Lorna puts out are just like, wow, what is going on here? Like, oh my God, a baby riding a dog, it's hilarious and just very emblematic of Lorna's work. And it was the first piece I collected by Lorna, and just Lorna's work's all like it has. I don't want to like say comedic value, but it's like makes you smile, like it makes you like it's like fun and playful, and I really appreciate that. I do like some playfulness. So this piece is my favorite by Lorna, just because I think it was like the first piece I collected by her. But I've collected a number of pieces by Lorna. And I think Lorna's a great artist. I was lucky enough to meet Lorna in person as well for a brief time. I've been NFT NYC, so yeah, definitely happy to support Lorna as an artist.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, her style just this piece has her fingerprints all over it. It's incredible. And I know so and so when we did his collector edition walk and talk also included one of his favorite pieces being a Lorna piece as well. So definitely a common theme there, and yeah, her work is spectacular.
Definitely.
Amazing. Well, we're halfway done, and I think we're doing pretty good on time here. So let's move on to the next piece here on the far wall. So this is Transcendental Doodle by Ann Spalter. And if this one will start playing for me, then I can make sure that I'm recording it properly. But I'm just gonna refresh my screen here just so then in the recording people are getting
The audio and the
the
visual
full
part.
art going
Yeah.
on. So yeah, feel free to take it
Yeah,
away while
sure.
I refresh here.
Well, again, this was a Ferrophile related release. I forget exactly what collection it was involved with, but it was on Tezos, and um, Anne, obviously very just well respected person and art supporter, art, not only a great supporter of the arts, but also an incredible artist herself, and uses a lot of different techniques, a lot of different mediums to produce work. This piece specifically used a number of different techniques. I know it involves some doodling and then also AI. Has some cool audio visual components. Looks amazing on this wall, especially with that audio piece. So hopefully we can capture that in the YouTube video or whatever it may be. But just looks great on the wall. I definitely included maybe a little bit more animated pieces, just so that we could highlight like this environment. But yeah, just definitely one of my favorite pieces I've got, and think it looks great here in this environment.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible. I have it playing here, and I'm glad that you put so many animated pieces in because I think again, with having oncyber gallery allow us to kind of get the full effect and blowing these up pretty big on the walls, you can really see the finer details and get the most what the piece are intended to be. So yeah, I appreciate you choosing so many animated pieces. And yeah, with Ann Spalter, I mean, not only an incredible artist, but also an author. She wrote like one of the first textbooks I know in terms of visual arts and computer arts for educational purposes, and also the Michael and Ann Spalter digital collection. And they have, I mean, probably the largest digital art collection out of anybody. So it's pretty incredible, and again, an incredible artist, and really glad you chose this one to highlight.
Yeah, awesome piece. Looks great.
All right, well, let's move on over to probably like the most classic crypto art piece that we have here. This is the Pepe Lisa. I did not know you're such a big rare Pepe collector. By going through your collections, it's quite impressive, and you chose this one as your favorite. So I need to dig in a little bit more there. What's going on with Pepe Lisa? Why do you like her so much?
Yeah, well, Rare Pepe's just like OG crypto art, and I got the collector in me, so part of it's just like the historic value of like this early crypto art collection. I love Rare Pepe's. I do have a bunch. I'm not like that. I've got a good handful of them. But I love my Pepe's. Those green frogs. They're just something special about them. But this piece is. By rare designer, great artist who's done a lot of wonderful Pepes, and this is just like a very notable Pepe, iconic. This was my profile picture before my small skull, and just my favorite Pepe that I have in my collection for sure. But just iconic Pepe, and wish I could show off all of my Pepes, but this one's my favorite.
It's classic. It's a very, very good one. And
Yep.
just like in the frame, it's again, like I feel like the percentage of art that you have in here that just like kind of makes you smile and laugh, it's like pretty much 50-50. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's definitely something to it. I'm a sucker for some good just art that makes you smile for sure.
I
So
mean, that's awesome. I mean, art should make you smile sometimes, and I feel like the piece that you have in here, if you're not smiling, then there's something going on. We gotta cheer you off.
yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to learn more about Pepe's, like Pepe.wtf is a good website. There's all the Pepe's. You can check out all the art. tons of talented artists and tons of artists that you probably have in your collection have made some Pepes. So it's a lot of fun just like scrolling through, like so many laughs, so many laughs. So yeah, I'd recommend it.
I mean, I do need to go down that rabbit hole. Rare Pepes is one where, for how long I've been in this space, I don't know enough about them. So I'm gonna take you up on that and go down the rabbit hole one of these days, and we'll definitely let you know if I have any questions.
I love it. Yeah, I'll definitely be happy to show you the ropes and give you the rundown there.
Love it. Amazing. Well, let's flip around and let's go to the feature wall in the middle here for the Sasha Styles technology piece. Again, this is another audio visual piece. So I'll make sure in the video that we have the audio components. But I mean, this is just a really, really cool piece to have up on the feature wall. So yeah, I would love to learn a little bit more about what's so special about this piece and then why you wanted to make sure that we included it.
Yeah, definitely. Sasha's a talented artist, and really respect the work that she's done and kind of pioneered. I don't want to say she's the first person to do like AI text or like poetry. Like maybe she is actually. I'm not. I'm really not sure. But regardless, just love that she's kind of blazed that trail, and this is like very emblematic of the work that Sasha's done. But another important piece to this is it really is like another like link to a bunch of positive memories. I actually got to experience this piece live, like within a dome. It was like over top of me in a bubble dome. I was laying on some beanbag chairs like at a Refraction DAO event at NFT NYC, and got to experience this with the sound, with the visuals live, like in person. It was an incredible experience. So it just brings back positive memories from that experience alone, but also at that event specifically, I was able to reconnect with a person that I hadn't seen in, let's say, 15 years, something like 15 years, a good old friend of mine I happened to run into serendipitously at this event. We got to experience this piece together in that bubble, reconnecting with an old friend at NFT NYC, had a Refraction Now event that was fun by itself already. So I don't know, just a lot of positive feelings, a lot of positive memories, even outside of just the incredible art associated with this piece. So, yeah, just wanted to share that and share this moment with everyone.
That's incredible. I mean, I'm sure if you're seeing somebody that you haven't seen in 15 years at a Refraction DAO event, you probably have a lot of common interests that you need to catch up on. So I can only imagine just looking at that piece and just going back to that memory. I mean, that's part of why these live events are so special, and then having a piece of artwork that you can collect from that event that just really commemorates that on top of being incredible work that you can display. There's just so much complexity to all of this. And I think, again, that's why it makes all of this so special because there's just so many stories behind each of these works.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm really happy to share kind of like the story behind it. It's one thing to just collect and like be in your own silo, but sharing this with you all, and then also, as you mentioned, like at these live events and sharing it with friends and sharing these types of experiences, has just been incredible for me, and definitely why I'm still here today.
Yeah, I totally, totally agree with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with collecting and just collecting in a silo and just collecting what you like. But for me personally, and I think you would agree, just having kind of that everything coming full circle, attaching it to some other type of connection, I think just makes it that much more special, especially if it's related to an in real life event. Or for this next one here, I know this is by Oxeye. It's got that classic fingerprint on it. Is this one that you got from an in person event, or how did you come across this one?
Well, I don't think it was an in-person event. I think it was just, on a drop on Hickok. I believe it was minted on Hickok. I could totally be wrong, actually. I did not look that up before sharing that, but yeah, I mean, Oxeye is one, a very talented artist, classic piece, this is like a pretty I don't want to say high tech, but like more, very like intense piece by Oxeye. And one, just love the artist, but also Oxeye as a person, and good friend of mine as well. Love to support Oxeye as an artist. And this piece looks amazing here on this wall. Like, it's so cool to see the uh this GIF, this loop live in this format and sharing it with you all. And I think you had mentioned, like, when we were looking at this the first time, that you hadn't seen this piece before. So, love to highlight this work. I have a number of pieces by Oxide, but this one's definitely my favorite. Just a lot of like, I wish I understood. I haven't really picked his brain about it, but I'm sure there's like a whole backstory, like a whole like underlying story behind this piece. But just super cool piece, and I'm happy to share with you all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just continuously watching here and I'm just picking up new things every time. It looks like there's like a group of people running towards the pyramid, but there's one person that's like jumping up there, like maybe he's trying to escape. There's just a lot going on. I think, yeah, we'll have to have a conversation with Oxeye about this and just love the way that he does these endless loops. And especially on a display like this, you can just get absolutely lost in it.
For sure. Yeah, love showing it off.
Cool. Well, we've got four pieces left. We're doing pretty good on time here. So let's go to the Cesarus piece. This is just part of the CAAI series. I know Cesarus, aka Casey Reese, has a few different series under the Cesarus pen name. But I mean, just the work here, it's hard to get the full gist of it just because I believe for this one, I just had to take like a copy of the NFT. It's not actually pointing to it. Or this one is, you just can't zoom in. Because if you zoom in on like the website, just the detail is just phenomenal. So I highly recommend you all, especially if you're watching in the recording, take a look at this piece on Object and really click into it and see the details because it's just truly incredible. But yeah, would love to learn how you came across Cessors in the first place and what drew you into this.
Yeah, I mean, definitely one of those like mysterious, like, who, I don't want to say mysterious, but like it wasn't like the most
It
like.
was pretty mysterious. I would say mysterious is a fair word because it
Okay.
was probably like a good 6 to 8 months when you kind of knew it was somebody that you would know, but nobody really know who. So I think mysterious is fair.
Yeah, okay, okay. So, it was definitely like a mysterious kind of experience, just like like looking into the art and learning about the art. And one, it looks beautiful up here, obviously, with like the color, but to your point, like learning about the techniques and like zooming in and like understanding how this fits in with the entire collection, and understanding, like, I learned a whole I learned some new words reading about this piece and learning about this piece. Stochastic confabulation. Not even going to try to explain it because I'm definitely going to butcher it. I'm not the most like technical person myself, but regardless, incredible work, just like from a technical standpoint, but also from a visual standpoint. Just draws you in, all the different colors. I love this output. I'm really happy to have this output in my collection. I'm not going to say that like I you know I wasn't picking and choosing exact, like, didn't get to. Um, I was kind of late to the game, and so I had to pile on secondary. I wasn't able to pick off of primary, but regardless, love this piece. I really am happy to have this one in my collection, and I would welcome everyone to explore this artist's works more, the artist's work more. Hopefully, you can include like a link in the YouTube description or whatever it may be to link to the file or to the artist's or to the collection website. But regardless, really incredible piece, incredible work. So much depth to it. Like, you just look for like you just zoom in for days. Like, just endless amount of beauty in this work, which is what I really appreciate about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can zoom in, and each like square inch can be a piece of artwork in and of itself. So just like recursion of like a million pieces into one. And I think with a lot of like if we do take this as a Casey Reese piece, I mean most of his Tezos work is more reserved. There's nothing like super crazy in terms of detail. It's a lot of paying paying homage to a lot of pioneers before him. But the Cesar's work are just like absolutely insane levels of details and colors, and I'm definitely going to post the link to the Cesar's website because I remember it being again like pretty cryptic. Because I forget how the minting mechanism worked. I almost remember he would just like cryptically tweet like "Summer Live," like mint here, and it was just like a random website if I remember correctly. I was just like, what's going on? But obviously, it's a legendary series and one that I think people will remember for quite some time.
Yeah, definitely one I'm proud to have in my collection for sure.
Amazing. Well, let's move on. We'll just keep on this wall here and we'll go to this Linda Dunya piece, more abstract work of hers. I know she's had a few recent projects that kind of talk about more of the AI work in terms of some hypothetical flowers that could be taking place in a region, but this one almost seems like a precursor where you can see that there's flowers being drawn. Again, this is way more abstract, but I feel like this is kind of like a stepping stone piece for her. And just always the color choice of her work is so interesting, and I just love how free flowing this one is. So, yeah, I would love to learn a little bit more about why you wanted to make sure we included this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think just definitely an artist that I respect and really enjoy the variety of the works and like the techniques and just I love this output specifically. I think like my eye is just so drawn around the works and like I have like questions like how is it produced, like where, like is it scanned, like what's this bar on the left, is it scanned in, like what pink with the charcoal, like the this color scheme, I don't know, it just really um was a beautiful piece to me, and I need to get more abstract works in my collection, but this is definitely an artist I love and respect, and happy to present the work here in this format.
Yeah, Linda's incredible artist. Her color choice is always some of my favorites. Where whenever she posts something, it's like, "Yup, that's incredible." And I remember when she posted about this one, and I'm like, "Yup, I need to collect this too." So I'm quite sure I've got one of these in my collection. I think she posted two this day. It was this one and then another scan abstract work, and I'm pretty sure I've got both. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, Linda's an incredible artist, and love everything she puts out.
For sure, yeah, I love Linda's work for sure. Move on.
Awesome. We got two left here. Let's flip on to the feature wall in the middle here. And I had to record a 9-second loop of this just because the NFT wasn't pulling in properly to the wall. So I apologize for it not being how it should be, where it just endlessly loops forever. But I mean, this output of art for walls in public spaces is just absolutely phenomenal. I love the super skinny ones where it kind of shows the perfect waves that are formed as the lines go up and down. And another beautiful thing about generative art is just the emergent properties of something like this. Like all it is just little colored lines getting bigger and smaller. But when you add them all together, it just creates this incredible pattern. So, yeah, I would love to learn a little bit more about how you came across this piece and why you wanted to make sure that we included it today.
Yeah, I mean, Anna, again, just another artist that I think is doing some incredible works, like different styles, different techniques. Definitely classic, like from a color scheme perspective, this like feels like an Anna Lucia work. But yeah, just love Anna's work, and not only like the digital work that we actually were able to see some of that physical work that she created with I think it was like a woven loom plotter, so to speak. I'm definitely not describing it
Yeah, I think
well,
it was
but
33 million, I believe the project was. And it was like the tapestry pieces, the ones that you're talking about at the Tender
exactly,
Untitled
exactly.
Gallery.
Exactly, yeah. So, I definitely respect Anna a lot as an artist, and I love how we're showing this work like in its proper use case, so to speak. It's called art for walls in public space, and we're like looking at this in a public space on a wall, like blown up, getting to see and experience this art, in its magnitude and its entirety. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, I just think it's beautiful work. And FX, it's an FX hash piece, one that I wasn't able to get, on primary, but was able to collect this on the secondary, and definitely a piece that I'm very proud to have in my collection. One that it would love to have a big digital display on my wall here to show it off. I don't yet have a Samsung frame TV. Maybe next year if they come out with a little like different model, a little cheaper model or something like that. But one that I'm super happy to show off, especially in this environment. Looks great, and yeah, I just think it's awesome, awesome work.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably my favorite digital collection that Anna's done. And I mean, not only has she done the tapestries, but she's done the scarves and also the generative tattoos that I know a couple folks got. I think it was at the Bright Moments Venice, I believe. There were like generative tattoos that she was giving out. So I mean, it just shows that generative art just knows no bounds. And just these artists are so creative and they're just going to kind of use this in so many different forms and just gets me really excited about what's next for generative art. I mean, we've seen so much happen in like 3, 4 years, like another 3 to 5 years down the road, like what's next. So that gets me really, really excited.
For sure, yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Well, let's end with the sculpture in the corner here. I did not know this was a sculpture, so when I brought it in, it just appeared like this, and it was truly an incredible experience. I was just absolutely wowed. Did not know that oncyber had kind of this 3D ability. So this is a messenger piece from Oria Harvey. I actually got to see some of her work at the Digital Art Mile in Art Basel, which was super cool. So did not know that she did some of these digital sculptures, to be honest. So yeah, I would love to learn a little bit more about this work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a broken record, but another artist I really love and respect, and I love Oria's work in different mediums. I got to see some like Oria charcoal works in person up at NFT NYC, which was incredible. But yeah, of course, like a digital sculpture in a VR environment, absolutely perfectly suited for this. Love kind of showing off this piece, and it was funny when I was looking through my collection. I actually had a number of like digital sculpture pieces, a couple by Aria, and just think it's super cool to see this and in this environment all blown up, and you get to experience it in its like intended setting, so to speak. But I've been able to see a lot of Aria's work, collected a number of pieces by Aria, and both of us actually were able to experience a interactive VR sculpture by Aria in Miami as well, when we were down there this past year, for Art Basel Miami. So super fun, awesome piece. Love the artist, and it's a great way to cap off this collection, or showing off my collection. Super cool VR sculpture here.
Love it. I mean, it seems like so many of these pieces have just like an in real life tie into it. And again, I think that's what makes just what we're doing here with this collecting. Like, there's just so much humanity, there's so many stories behind each of these. And I mean, that's why I just love doing these walk and talks, is we get to hear all the stories and get to be a part of it and allow us to learn more and just appreciate the work even more just because of the added layer and complexities to it. And yeah, see Stokel walking around the sculpture to check it out. I mean, that's what I was doing when I brought this in together. I'm like, what is this? This is absolutely incredible. So yeah, I highly recommend you all to look through your collection for the sculptures that you have and add them to these on cyberspaces because they look absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's like choose 15 pieces. Man, it was really tough to pick
Oh,
15
it's
pieces. I wish.
nearly an impossible task. I know
Yeah,
you
I wish
sent
I
me
got.
a
I need like a
spreadsheet that
second
had like
wing.
50. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
need.
you've got to cut this down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I wanted to do like two or three different wings of this museum here, but this was fun. Yeah, super fun. Thanks for having me, man.
Amazing. Of course. Thank you so much for allowing us to kind of walk through your collection here, telling us a little bit more about these works. And Is there anything else that you wanted to make sure that you shared today with the time we had left?
Just again, thank you for having me on. I mean, it's really an honor to be included here. I mean, you've talked to some incredible people, incredible artists, collectors. I mean, it's definitely an honor to be included in this and super fun. Thank you so much, for letting me show off my collection here, and hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did.
It was amazing. Thank you, Mogs. And thank you, all of you in the audience on the Twitter space, for walking and talking with us. We truly appreciate it. So until next time, everybody, we'll catch you on the internet. See you later.